We've all had some sort of a catastrophe in our life that has made us go, what the how am I supposed to move on from here? Well, I'm here to tell you that if it seems like your life is falling apart around you, it probably is. And maybe even for good reason. Hi, beautiful people. I'm Courtney, and welcome to my corner of the internet. I am a full-time college student, a full-time employee, a wife, a mom, but most importantly, I am an aspiring psychologist with a deep passion for helping others discover their true authentic selves and create lives that they truly love. Join me as we explore the journey of self-love, self-discovery, and personal growth. Super excited for you all to be here, and I hope that you'll enjoy spending time with me. So let's dive right in. It's gonna be harder than I thought it was. A little bit about me and why I'm so passionate about this topic. I started my journey of self-discovery and self-love a couple of years ago. However, I didn't really buckle down and get serious about it until probably last year when my life took a turn and just practically fell apart before my eyes. My journey actually began back in 2019. I was hopping from manager position at different little fast food places. It came a point where I was just like, this is not enough for me. I want more out of life. I want more. I need more. I picked up this really awesome book called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Jen makes a really good point that you can either be sitting there on the couch wishing and dreaming, or you can get up and actually do it. And I said, I'm gonna actually do it. I want to do something with my life. So I started college. I'm 26 at this time. And you know what? You're never too old and it's never too late to go to school. And so I started college. To say that my college journey was a little bumpy and helter-skelter off the start, I would say I changed my major at least about 6 times before I finally settled on general business administration. And that's what I ended up graduating in 2021 with, was my business administrations, with the hope and dream of being a CFO, because, you know, I wanted to have that corporate life. I'd basically taken like some general management courses and then took my accounting 1 course and absolutely loved it. So I graduated with my associates in business administration with the plan of pursuing my bachelor's and a potentially master's in accounting. At this time, I'm working in a CPA office. I ended up helping the CPA through the tax season and then finding some other careers and moving on. I am taking my accounting classes and I am absolutely hating them. I personally took my accounting 1 class 3 times and failed at every single one. It was nothing like the intro to accounting classes that I was taking for my associate's degree. And so I was absolutely miserable. I did end up finding a job as a data entry for this factory. And I was basically kind of like the project administrator because I was in charge of purchase orders, entering purchase orders and working with data and entering the data and working with Excel, and working very closely with the vice president of engineering and a lot of the engineers at that point. So it was a really good spot for me and I absolutely loved it. I felt like I was utilizing my skills. This position was actually a temporary position, so I ended up having to take on a more permanent position in the factory, which put me as a lab tech in the basement. By this time, it is October of 2023. And I end up finding this position working at a Christmas company. Apply for the position. I'm actually applying for a business administration, more like an executive assistant position, because they call me back and they say they want to hire me on. However, they don't want to hire me on as the executive assistant. They hired somebody else for that position. They liked that I had a skill set in data entry. They liked that I had a skill set in Excel. And I was like, cool, I can do this. I end up taking the position and I go in, and it is basically red flag after red flag after red flag for me. They tell me that, hey, with the Excel, we want you to do the data, but you're actually gonna work in the call center for now. They didn't tell me that in the beginning, and I was taking a position like this because I did not want to work in customer service. The majority of my working career had been spent working in customer service, and I was over it. And so I was like, hey, this work on the phones. I don't want to do customer service. I told y'all that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do the data like you told me. And so they're like, hey, you know what, that's fine. We're selling on Amazon for the first time. Why don't you help us with that? Why don't you lead us with that? And I'm like, okay, never done it before. So I jump in head first. While still doing their numbers and trying to keep the data entry and everything going there. And getting projects thrown at me, and I'm doing the projects the way that I think they're supposed to be doing. I'm asking the questions I'm supposed to be asking. And then when I'm submitting these projects, I'm being told that I completely missed the mark. And at this point, I've realized that I don't want to do accounting, so I have switched my degree over to finance. I am doing just a little bit better in the classes. I'm not worried. I'm not stressed as much doing school and working, because at this point I am the sole breadwinner. And I still feel like something's not right. And so come February of 2024, basically something happened with the orders, and because I was the lead on it, it all fell on me. And I tried to pick it back up. I tried to fix it. I did my best, but it just did not feel right after that. Towards the end of February, they bring me in for my 90-day eval. They gave me the 90-day eval, and just problem after problem. You know, there were little things like, oh, the girls in the office love you. Everybody, you have a clean desk. You're always so polite. You're always so upbeat. You're always so fun. You know, just the normal BS to keep me going. And then it was just problem after problem after problem. And these were things that I was like, hey, why weren't you telling me these were problems in the first place? I didn't know these were problems. But okay, you know, this is just my 90-day eval. And then he finishes up with, so I think you just have a lot on your plate. You're the sole breadwinner for your family. You're a full-time college student, full-time employee, and we're just gonna have to let you go. Just like that. Straight up. First time in my life. Been working since I was 18. I'd made it all the way to 30. Had never been fired. Never. And I felt like the world had crushed underneath me. I felt like I had let my family down. I felt like I'd let myself down. I felt like I had let so many people down. I'm not gonna cry. I called my husband, said, hey, I need you to come pick me up. I've been fired. And I broke down. I broke down. I went into one of the biggest depressions that I've ever been in my life. The slump that I was in was not something that I understood at the time. And finally, a couple weeks after it finally hit me, this isn't what I wanted in my life. I'm not meant for this, bruh. When I tell you that I had an awakening at that point, I was like, hold everything. I'm not meant for this. This is not who I am. Why am I doing all this? And so I sat down and I was like, what is the one thing that I've always wanted to do in life? What is the one thing that I had goals and dreams and was like, you know what? When I reach the corporate lifestyle and I reach the CFO, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to do this. Psychology. Ever since 7th grade, I wanted to be a psychologist. I've always been the friend that people come to and they talk to. that's something that I've always just been drawn to, and I have ignored it so much so that the universe finally said, Cortnie, I love you, you dense, beautiful creature. Wake up. And it took me getting fired. It took the rug getting yanked out from underneath me. It took everything for me to finally realize my life was meant to fall apart because I was not paying attention. I was ignoring everything. I was going down the wrong path. I was living the wrong lifestyle for me. That's not who I am. I am not meant to do any of that. I ended up calling my advisor, switching to psychology, told her this is the last time that I'm ever going to switch my degree. And she said, you know what? I hope so, because you sound so much happier. This is the first time that I have talked to you about your grades, about anything, that there's a light in your voice. And she was right, because ever since then my grades have been awesome. I just finished the spring semester with 3 A's and 1 B. Yay. I haven't failed any classes since I switched over. This happened last year, 2024. We're in 2025 now. I have brought my GPA up from a 2 point, I believe I was sitting at a 2.6. I'm now at almost a 3.0. Just so much has happened since I finally started listening to those universal signs, because the saying is, if your life is falling apart, it's probably meant to. My point is, you may feel like you are on the right path. You may feel like you are doing everything that society expects of you, that is your family expects of you, that you expect of you. But are you really happy? Are you really enjoying the journey? Are you really living the life that you want to live? Are you truly living your authentic, unapologetic self? Or are you wanting to hide away every day and not even face the sun when you wake up? You need to be true to yourself. And in order to do that, you need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to the universe, and you need to listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. The universe had to literally bitch slap me before to finally realize that I was not living the life that I was meant to live. I have come to so many realizations since then that I know will be beneficial towards you, and I am wanting to share them with you and hope that they will help others live their true, unapologetic, authentic selves as well. So, this is just the tip of my journey. I still have so much more to share, such as taking accountability for my actions that led me up to the point to realize that I was making mistakes, realizing where those mistakes were made in the long run, and learning to let go, live with the flow, and understanding who I am as an individual. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about me and my story, and I hope that maybe it helped you realize that you too can also change your life. It is never too late. I am 32. Well, let's change that. I will be 32 this year. I'm not quite there. And I'm still growing as an adult, still growing as an individual, and still making changes in my life that are helping me for the better. All right, so if you made it all the way here to this part of the video, drop this emoji in the chat so that I know you made it. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, because I have so much more to share with you on this journey of self-love and discovery and growth. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.